Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It is our live on Wednesday, and I'm Michelle Adamus with Vintage Revival Design Co. And I'm here today with a last minute gift idea that is functional and I don't know. For me, when I'm giving like baked goods or something like that, I really enjoy giving something with it. And so it might be that I've done the tray or I've done something like that. So let me make sure that the chat is on. I think I'm a little delayed here. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're going to see how we do here. And let me get the chat up so I can see. If you pop on here, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Thanks for joining me. So if I'm a little delayed, I'll have to, I don't know, but hope you just see what we're doing and that will help. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my project so we can just get started. Let me make sure this is going here. I want to bring up my project, not me. Let's see if it's going to do that. Hi, Sheila. How are you? I'm sorry. I think there may be a little drag. I'm trying to get my camera up here. I'm dragging it and I want to switch. It's not doing it. All right. I'm going to turn off that camera. I'm not sure what's going on today. So I'm going to turn off me and just have my hold on. I'm so sorry. We are a little draggy today. All right. So now I'm there. So I think we're okay. Okay, can you hear me now? I hope you can hear me now. I'm not sure. All right, let's just go for it. We're just going to do it, okay? So I've got my archival ink, and so I'm thinking about the way that I display a tea towel in my home. And so okay, can you hear me now? There we go. I hope you can hear me now. All right. I think about how I do it, and I usually fold it over and I just showing. So that's usually how I do it, but people do it full length. And so I thought I'm going to do this on both sides. And so I want to protect my surface, and I'm going to go ahead and go where it's folded in half because I want to do this on both sides. And so I'm going to go ahead and stretch my towel to about here. And I'm going to try to center my design. I'm going to start with this one because we're going to be using a mask. So I'm just going to take this little laurel, this wreath type thing, and I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with this, go all out and paint them in whatever you want to do. But I think I said quick and easy last minute gift. And so that's what we're going to do. So I up pretty well. The archival ink is waterproof. And so I thought that was helpful. So I'm going to center this as best as I can. So this is kind of the center mark. So I'm centering it on the half. And I'm going to go here and I'm just going to place this down, use my fingers. I could use a brayer also, but I'm a little, I don't know. Should I use a brayer? I think I'll just use my hands and see how I do. So I'm positioning this in place. Let me see if it's going in. It is. So you're going to get some distressing where the ink is really, you know, prominent and dark. And then you're going to get some that looks a little faded. I like the vintage vibe of that. I'm not looking for something that looks hand printed. So there you go. So we've decided. Now, because they may want to hang it on the other side, I decided that that's what I want to do. So I'm actually going to flip this over. I'm going to hit it with my heat gun just real quick, just to make sure that I won't have any smearing when I turn this over onto my glass. And actually, while we're at it, I'll just go ahead and do both parts. So what I wanted to do is to personalize this a monogram. And so I'm just going to take A. This is from the Typeset stamps from IOD. And you could use alphabet and, you know, really make it fancy, but I'm just going to do this. So I'm going to place this A in the center. Again, I guess this is a Christmas gift for us. You can use any color that you want. If you don't know somebody's kitchen preferences, neutral is always really good. And I'm going to lift that up. So I've got the A. So let's just hit that. You can see how quick and easy this is. And then we're going to add grain sack stripes to this, but I want to make sure that I have this on both sides. That way that it is, no matter how they hang it, it's going to look good. And I lost the chats. I'm going to do the chat up here so I can see your comments. Okay, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry, I don't know why it was being fussy today. So now that that's done, I'm going to just keep it in place and I'm going to turn it on the other side. And so I'm going to position it so that if somebody is doing it, you know, hanging it on both sides, that they can. So we're going to do, again, I could just put my A in the center of this and do it all at once. So let's try that. I'll go ahead and get this and we'll just save a little time by positioning our initial or whatever that is. You could use a design. The Mercantile stamp has quite a few that are super cute. I just like the idea of making it a little more personal. You could do this on a bag or something like that, but just a quick stamped project, maybe a plate that you're going to give cookies on, something like that. So I don't know if this is going to be exactly, let me do this just to make sure. I go ahead and have this one so that I can kind of line it up a little bit, right? So I have this monogram up here as a guide, and then I'm going to position my towel like this, just so that when we add our stripes, that's going in. All right, so I think that's about right. I'm going to position it about center, place that down. And so, yeah, this is a lot simpler because thing is already on there that I want. I'm giving quite a bit of pressure on here, just so that it goes into the fabric fibers. I'm going to just lift with one hand and see, I want a little more right in here. Okay. And so now I have that. So now what I want to do is I'm going to use a mask for this. I didn't get out the mask. I had made a mask for the A or for the other, but I'm going to just go ahead and go with this. And I'm going to place this mask in place. And this is going to keep me from getting any of my black stripe on the wreath. And so now I'm going to take this green stripe. I'm just going to do a little bit because I only need a little bit right here. And so I'll start by just inking a little bit. And see how we do. So I'm going to start right here. I think I need a little more ink. Get even, ink that up as evenly as I can. And so I'm going to go right about here, just to where it goes up at that. I shifted. I shifted. I shifted. So let's see. But again, it's for me. So I don't think that looks too bad. It's all right. And I can go back here and line that up a little bit. And so then let's go ahead and pull this down as well. And we're going to do this little section in between here. Now, I don't have two masks for this. So I'm going to see what I can do without masking it. If you lost your mask or you don't have it, and I'm going to see about how much I want. So I'm going to lay this in place so that I come right about here. And then I'm going to take my ink pad, ink that up. Okay. And then I'm going to position that place. So I'm going to line that up between the two. Try to avoid getting in there. I'm going to lay it down. Give a lot of pressure here. And yes, I know. I think the shifting is, it can happen. And I didn't put any pixie spray or anything like that there. So now I've gone in between the two and we've got stamps there with our monogram. And now we're going to do this side. And I did not heat set anything. So I'm going to pull it here. And I'm going to try, I think I did better without the mask. So I'm going to go ahead and just ink this up again. And we'll come to the end here. And I think I'll go right about here. Right about there. And then I'll just push that in place. I love green sack, almost green sack anything. So I think we will really enjoy that. Okay, so that part's done. Now, what if somebody likes to hang the whole width of their, so now this way they can hang it, doesn't matter which side they do it on, but I'm thinking of somebody that may like to do their towels and they just fold it over in half, maybe, I don't know, over their stove or whatever. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stamp in the center of this third. And so we'll just have a continuous green sack going. And if you don't like that, no problem. You may think it's a little busy. But I'm just always thinking of like how somebody is actually doing this. And so I'm going to go ahead and stamp this up. This can be the part that gets a little tricky, being able to line up that stamp, right? And so I'm going to get some good ink on that. I actually need to re-ink this little pad. Now I'm just eyeballing this. If you need to measure, you can use a ruler or something like that. These towels are flour sack. And once you have washed them, because you want to make sure that you wash them and dry them and iron them as best as you can before you do your stamping. I failed to mention that when we got started. So I'm going to go ahead and just line this up. I think I'm going to stand up this, and I'm going to just line this up and go as straight as I can. And push that down. And it's a little faded here. So I think I'm going to try. I don't so much mind the fading, but I wouldn't mind if it was a little darker. So this is either going to go really well or it's not. I'm just going to lay it down and push here where it was super faded. And see if I can get that come out a little bit better. It's a little bit better. I still have a little there. I'm not going to, but I can keep lining that up if I want. So we're going to continue. And I'm going to take my protective backer here. I'm going to turn it this way and make sure this way I can line this up with this one and just straighten it out as much as I can. And then let's give this a good inking again, the entire width of it. It is the nice thing about Work Stamp is that they are much easier to line up. Okay. And so I'm going to flip this and we're going to line this up as best as we can. Down and let it go. I love tea towel. I mean, I use a dish towel every single day. And I think it just makes a nice little addition. And especially like, you know, we give cookies and things like that. So I think it's nice to add just a little something to that so that they have something left when the baked goods are gone, right? So let me lift that up and see. So I've got a little overlap there, but I'm not too worried. And it's a little wonky, but that's okay. And I really didn't need to do this whole thing. So let me just do this. We've just got a little more. And let's see if we can line that up a little bit. Push that down. If you like perfection, this may not be the gift for you, but I like that just fine, right? And so we're going to do the other side. I think I'm going to try to do just fill this in a little bit here. I'm being brave, you guys, being very, very brave. I could also just take a little ink and paint it in. So maybe that's what I'll do. So let's go ahead and just do this other side of this. And I'm going to turn it this way because I'm right-handed. And that way I won't be putting my hand all over it. And again, I'm going to try. So you can see this way, if they are doing this, you would have to use a thin mount. So I actually have it on a piece of a thin mount. I just cut it more to size, Sheila, so that it's a little easier to work with over here. All right, so I'm going to move this over. Let's try to avoid getting any. It would be just like me to be in the final stretch. And then I dip my towel in black ink. So not what I'm wanting. Okay. All right, so let's do this. And again, easy peasy, easy peasy. So I'm going to try to line it up as best as I can. I'm going to go over the hem down there. The hem is always where it's a little trickier because you've got those, it's a little raised right there. So let's do this. And what I'll do is I'll just hang it on the side where that doesn't show. That's how I'm going to do it. That is my strategy, you guys. Right? There's always a way to make it work. So let's see, did enough ink? Yeah, we did. So that one turned out pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this. We'll raise it up, and then we are almost done with this little project. So let me know if this is something you would try. Sometimes you just need a last minute gift, or you just want to include something in what you're already giving. I have this thing too about, like some people, like if you're giving a gift card or something like that, I have this thing about it. It's really hard for me to just give a gift card without there being a little something along with it. So sometimes a little handmade something is nice when you're doing that. All right, so this one's going to be a little tougher. I'm going to come down here and line this up. I'm shaking. Okay, let's get this going down here. I'm missing a little ink over here, so I think we'll see if we can fix that up a little bit. And I need my surface to be a little harder right here. Let's see, how did we do? Not too bad. Not too bad at all. So I like that one. We've got just a little bit more to do. And then let's see what we can do about like here. Again, I don't mind so much that it's a little faded, but I want to see if there's a way that I can make that just a little bit better. So I don't need a whole lot of ink on the whole thing. And we're going to line this up again as we can. Push that down. And then you'll want to clean your fingernails with alcohol wipes. So when this is done. Also, hand sanitizer seems to do a really good job of removing this ink. So not too bad. So now, whether they hang it, I'm going to go ahead and move this, and we'll go ahead and so now whether they display it like this or they display their tea towels more like this, then they have options for that, right? So I think that works really well. So here where I have a few little situations, I'm going to see if I can find do I have a little stencil brush? I don't know if I have a little stencil brush. Let's try a little Q-tip and some ink and see how we do. Okay, so I've got this, and let's go like, you can see this area here. So this is just if I'm being super fatutsi about it. Okay, and I'm going to take a little bit of that off, and then let's just take this little Q-tip and fill in. So I'm just rubbing the Q-tip over excuse me, and then filling in. So you can see where it's really faded here. I'm going to kind of stretch it out a little bit with my hands. And apply that ink just like that. So there is a way that we can fill in A little bit. So I've got this little area here is one that I want to fix. So let's do that. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Thanks for saying hello. Thanks for joining. All right. So I'm using my Q-tip, and here's where I missed part of the stripe. Hopefully my ink is not going to get all over this. I'm going to pull it taut right here, and I'm going to use my Q-tip and go right in there and fill in. Okay. So that way I don't have a break in my design. Now, before I actually use this, I will throw it in the dryer. I'll either let it, sit overnight or whatever, or throw it in the dryer for about 30 minutes before I actually use it. And that's just going to heat set the ink. Okay. And then I'm going to just do these little bits here. And then I think we are done. So it's really a quick little gift. It took us probably less than 20 minutes because we had those technical issues in the beginning of the live. So we didn't even get started, but in about 20 minutes. So you could do a few of these in an hour, especially if you like, and just kind of did them in a production pattern, something like that. So with a little Q-tip, you can fill in your little stripes. No worries. I think that looks better. Don't you? And yeah, so that's a gift tip. And ink and a towel and something like fill in. I may fill in a little bit more. I don't know. But at least it's personalized. It doesn't matter. Oh boy, my connection is. All right, I guess it says we're back. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Okay. It says we're